So we are back because there's a lot of crazy, cool things going on in the world of sports, and it seems like most of what we've been talking about this year has been stemming from college sports. So basically,
well, I mean, it's college season right now. Well, all the sports, so.
Yeah. So basically, we're going to kind of talk about what's going on with this Ed O'Bannon situation because
here we go.
He just won his ruling. Well, he not just won, but maybe a few weeks ago, and the judge, a part of his ruling, basically stated that NCAA needs to start paying its players, specifically college football and college basketball. And the whole case stemmed from EA Sports, video games, blah, 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 blah. He's a former UCLA player. Noticed that his image, name, and likeness was being used in a video game. So, you know.
I wonder how that went. What, you just playing the game like, oh.
I don't know, maybe his nephew was playing, maybe he's a gamer. But, yeah, I mean, how would you feel if you were playing a video game?
You know how many players been wanting to know that? That's crazy. I'm happy for this guy.
Well,
man. This is good.
Part of his lawsuit was that it was him and other players. So it was a class action, I guess. But at any rate, I was talking to someone today about, you know, the whole Ed O'Bannon situation. They had not heard about it. So then I go to my Facebook and somebody sent me a link, basically, of Texas. The University of Texas just came out and said that they are going to allocate $6 million a year. That's $10,000 per student athlete.
For what sports?
Well, if you think about it, $6 million is going to cover all their student athletes.
Yeah, but if you think about it, Texas is only big in a few sports. I mean, they are a D1 school, but they're nationally known for.
Well, that means maybe the student managers.
Nah, Texas paying is.
No, but Texas is a D1 school. They have track and field.
Well, because the student managers probably already getting paid as a credit. The coaches already get paid.
At any rate, they came out. Sports Illustrated put this article up on fansided.com, and basically they said that they are going to pay $6 million a year, $10,000 per athlete a year. They're going to take care of, you know, all the tuitions and everything, tuition costs and whatever is associated. So I say it's about to go down. Like QJZ, it's about to go down.
Well,
schools, and now this is Texas. Imagine Oregon. Imagine Alabama.
Well, see, Oregon got unfair advantage. We all know why.
Yeah.
With Nike Town being right there. But if Texas is starting now, then I can bet Oklahoma goes, Alabama goes because they're right nearby. I wouldn't be surprised if LSU come out. All the SEC schools going to start beating.
Oh, SEC about to shut it down. They say you play in 10, so, and then the judge.
Then the powerhouse that everybody used to love, USC, is going to come out too.
Well, the judge said that every school can make their own cap. So what for UCLA, USC to say, well, they're paying 10, we can pay you $25,000 a year.
Yeah, I mean, but honestly, I think what happened though is the NCAA will put a cap on the amount they can give. They're going to have to, because then you'll start getting to the point where they'll start offering salaries to players, and that they don't have to go play professional football at that point.
Well, I'll say this. It's a development.
To me,
it's a development farm club system. It's like a minor league.
So yeah, okay, I retract. So it will be kind of like a developmental league. So that means all the other developmental leagues that happen out there pretty much going to be non-existent because their talent pool is going down.
Well, let's talk about the rings. This is where we work in Olympic sports. And Scott Blackman came out yesterday. He's the CEO of the USOC, and basically stated that, you know, if they only pay college football, college basketball, that's going to cause some of the lower tier sports to receive less funding, and we need to figure out a way to protect the athletes.
When did he say that?
Yesterday.
In what outlet?
I read about it in USA Today.
So Scott Beckman comes out and he wants to protect.
He said the NCAA and the USOC, which they already work together, are going to have to figure out a better way and a better system to protect those sports. But at the end of the day, if the University of Texas is saying we're going to pay all of our student athletes, that can include track and field, then they're protected. They're part of this funding, so they won't.
Well, no, because if Texas does it, doesn't mean that Oklahoma will do it. They just may focus more on the sports that are making the most money.
But if $6 million a year can pay every student athlete $10,000 a year,
I think that's an ambitious number for one.
Let's talk about that $6 million. Is that a lot for a university when a school?
Not saying it's a lot.
A school can make that in one game, and off of ticket sales. Not to talk about merchandising. Not to talk about sponsored. Not to talk about food and beverage. Media rights.
Yeah.
SEC Network.
I mean, Texas,
Longhorn Network.
Texas is in a good position because they have the Longhorn Network with ESPN. Great deal. You know, they have their own advertising themselves. You know, they have their own, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they have their own licensing. So they do have the funding to do that. What I'm saying is, just because Texas offers $6 million does not mean that other schools follow suit for all sports.
But it's a competitive market. This is the United States of America, and you pay your players $10,000. I'm gonna pay mine $15,000. I'm gonna pay mine maybe $500. But you know.
So here's about the question: if that's the case, well, two things for me. One, player union has to happen because now you're paying kids to play sports.
A union?
Has to. You're paying players to
Jeez Louise!
You're paying players to do sports at that point. So a union, it's labor. It's considered labor. Education and labor. Just like your job gives you tuition, reimbursement to go back to school, but you still have to work for them to do another job.
I say this. NCAA is already trying to appeal the Bannon ruling. And they're going to expedite the process. So, because Bannon ruling will take place August of 2015, so NCAA is trying to expedite the appeal.
I didn't get my second point, though. My second question is, if they allow these student athletes to be paid, what about Olympians? Can they start accepting their money now and not have to worry about the eligibility?
I'm going to say this, and I think we're going to end on this note. Steve Prefontaine lived in a trailer and was on food stamps. That's sad. And this was after the Olympics. And no, he did not win.
Well, I mean, he
did not medal.
No.
But he was a world-class athlete.
Right.
And so,
in a time where the Olympic movement was still growing.
Yes. But guess what people said? Like they're saying with NCAA. If you allow professional athletes in Olympic sports, it's going to just tank the Olympics. Guess what? Professional athletes are in the Olympics, and the Olympics is as good as it gets. You got Michael Phelps, you got Usain Bolt,
and you still have
got Nancy Olympian, you got Sean Wright, Lindsey Vonn.
And there's still a lot of sports that are underfunded.
But guess what?
With the payment or allowing athletes to accept payments, allow some of these athletes to fund their training. Then they wouldn't need NGB's money so much to fund themselves.
Exactly. We had a bobsled athlete, an obscure sport bobsled athlete. And she got personal donations, she got sponsorship, and she did okay. It did not taint the sport. It did not make the sport any worse or more popular or less popular, but she was able to support herself and not have to go on food stamps. So at the end of the day, you know, they said it was going to ruin Olympic sports. The amateurism is gone. Now you got professional athletes. Look. Even with the Fierce Five girls, some of those girls were pro and some of those girls were amateurs.
I never believe in that argument only because the two biggest sports in the Olympics is swimming and track and field.
You don't believe that argument because we grew up in a different era. But old school in the 70s and 80s, they were told that allowing professional Olympians would ruin Olympic sports. So don't think, and I hope people don't say, oh, don't pay these players. It's going to ruin college sports. It will not. And the entertainment value is going to go up. And imagine your school paying these athletes, they're competitively, you know, the entertainment value, you're getting the best entertainment value money can get.
With more funding allows the sports to be prominent more, not just every 4 years like everyone thinks, because Olympic sports isn't just every 4 years. They have seasons, they have world championships and nationals.
What we're saying is this ruling where NCAA has to pay its athletes, if it stands, The colleges are already showing that we can uphold this ruling and we can pay our athletes. So Texas basically told all the other schools, put your money where your mouth is.
But
If this ruling stands,
keep in mind,
get it
just
done.
because Texas says, and I want to leave on this note, just because Texas said it's $6 million does not mean that it's going to be.
But it's something.
It's something that's great, but not all schools will follow suit. That's my only concern.
Well, I think they should, and I think this is America and we're competitive, and it's going to happen. So.
And it's also American and screwed up too. So take it for what it is.
Oh, Jesus. Let's get off this before something happens.